Welcome to DAV Patriots Pitch. And now, please welcome your host for the evening, Army National Guard veteran and Patriot Boot Camp Director, Matt Feldhaus.
That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to DAV Patriots Pitch, Vegas edition. What happens here will surely stay here, but that's a good thing, right? Tonight, we'll hear from veterans who are looking to revolutionize industries and affect lasting, positive change in their communities. These entrepreneurs will compete to win $10,000 in no-obligation funds to propel their businesses and accelerate their growth. All of our competitors are alumni of DAV Patriot Boot Camp, a no-cost, transformative program that empowers entrepreneurs in the veteran and military community with comprehensive startup education, world-class mentorship, and access to funding, and a supportive community committed to their success. Patriots Pitch is an extension of that program and gives participants a chance to hone their skills that they learned in the boot camp while competing for cash. You can learn more about DAV Patriot Boot Camp and all of our programming at patriotbootcamp.org. All right, let's get into tonight's run of show and rules of competition. Each of our 6 contestants will have 4 minutes and 4 minutes only to tell us who they are, what their business is, and how they can deliver on their vision. They've spent all day working to perfect their pitch with the help of longtime Patriot Boot Camp mentor, pitch master, and serial entrepreneur, Ray Antonino, who you'll meet later. The 4-minute timer starts immediately as soon as the contestant starts talking. If they're still talking when their time is up, we will all have to hear the dreaded cowbell. And no one wants that. Alrighty, so after the 4 minutes are complete, our expert panelists will get a combined total of 4 minutes to ask clarifying questions before we roll into the next contestant. Once every contestant has made their pitch, we will open it up for voting for you, our studio audience, will get to decide tonight's winner. If you haven't already, please download the DAV Events app. Your login information should have been emailed to you, and this is how you will vote in tonight's competition. And now, without further ado, let's meet tonight's panelists. Marine Corps veteran Dave Berlin is an entrepreneur, ecosystem builder, and dedicated veterans advocate. He is the founder of Freedom Week and Vet Talk, 2 platforms focused on veteran entrepreneurship, leadership, and transformation. Dave also launched the Veteran Entrepreneur Library Project, a growing initiative to provide access to business education and resources for veterans across the country. He is the Las Vegas chapter lead for Vets in Tech, the Nevada State coordinator for Global Entrepreneurship Week, and he is very active with the Small Business Bureau, or Small Business Administration, excuse me. All right, next we have Maria Luque. She is also a founder, a health coach, a speaker, and a proud Air Force veteran. With a PhD in health, yeah, let's give it up. With a PhD in health sciences, a master's in health education, and a certification as a personal trainer and nutritionist, Luque founded Fitness in Menopause to help empower and improve the lives of women in perimenopause and menopause. She is now a health coach for Respin Health, a menopause health and coaching company co-founded by Academy Award-winning actress Halle Berry. We are proud to say Luque is also a DAV Patriot Camp alumna. Last, but certainly not least, is Dean Lawyer. He is the senior manager with federal government sales at T-Mobile. His teams are solely focused on the Department of Veteran Affairs, and they are proud to serve those who served. Dean holds a Bachelor in Management and an MBA from Mid-America Nazarene University. As an avid sports fan from Kansas City, Dean loves golf, tennis, pickleball, and is a diehard Chiefs and Raiders and Royals fan.
Chiefs, come on, Chiefs.
So I'm from Cincinnati, so, who dey. Tonight's event is generously sponsored by T-Mobile, which we'll hear more about later. Please give a warm welcome and round of applause for our panelists. And thank all of you for showing up for these amazing entrepreneurs. Now, is everyone ready for a little competition? I said, are you ready for a little competition? Woo! Go! That's more like it. All right, let's meet our first entrepreneur of the night, Nick Kolchar of Last Action Group.
Nicholas Kolcher is a former Army combat engineer and co-founder of Last Action Group, a mental health-focused company on a mission to build stronger leaders and help people everywhere conquer adversity. He is an alum of DAV Patriot Boot Camp's Spring 2025 cohort.
Thank you. Look to your left. Look to your right. 2 out of every 3 Americans at some point in their life will suffer a traumatic event or have suffered a traumatic event. If left unaddressed, this can lead to long-term issues well into adulthood. You can suffer physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially, oftentimes leading people to feel helpless and lost. Hi, I'm Nick Kolchar, co-founder of Last Action Group, and here at Last Action Group, we harness our real-world experience to teach people how to stand up when they've been knocked down, giving them the tools that they need to conquer their barriers, taking their adversity and turning it into their advantage. We do this by attacking the problem head on. The normalization of victim mentality in society has run rampant, leading to an epidemic of lack of resiliency and lack of accountability. Pair that with people's dependency on social media, this can create a disconnect between both the individual and the family, as well as the individual and society at large, further eroding the fabric of our society, plunging us deeper into a mental health crisis. Oftentimes, people look for existing solutions, like traditional therapy. This can oftentimes be expensive, slow, and yield low or no results, especially when dealing with deep-seated trauma. A cheaper, much more accessible option might be a motivational speaker or an online influencer. Oftentimes, they provide them with the comfort they're looking for, but no real solutions, just creating an echo chamber, further entrenching one in the already bad habits that they're trying to escape. And of course, who doesn't love a quick fix? Oftentimes, though, this leads to over-medication, masking one's problems, not actually reaching the root cause. We here at Last Action Group like to connect, empower, and motivate our clients. And we do this by taking an authentic approach. We utilize our storytelling to connect with them on a deeper level. Through a tough love and empathetic approach, it allows us to employ a hybrid learning solution where we pair our motivational speaking along with tangible and actionable steps to give our clients the tools they need to conquer those barriers. Over $200 billion is spent globally on mental wellness programming. $27 billion of that here in the United States alone. And we're focusing on helping the $2 billion market that is our veterans and first responders. We do this one of two ways, through keynote presentations as well as workshops. Both will focus on resiliency, leadership, and we have some focus towards youth programming. Our multi-day and all-day workshops include interactive activities as well as peer mentorship opportunities. We're looking to unlock longer-term engagements through one-on-one coaching, digital content, and online media. In the last year, we've serviced over 500 people, to over 24 schools and institutions, as well as 500 volunteer hours. We consist of my beautiful wife, Danny, handling behind the scenes, and myself at the front of the house. Help us be your leader up that mountain.
Amazing stuff, Nick. Now we go to our judges for questions.
All right, I'll go, Nick. Thanks for that. So I saw the 3,000 and the 5,000, and is that for a single day?
So 3,000 is typically what my hourly rate will be
Okay.
for a keynote presentation. It can go up from there. 5,000 would be an all-day or multi-day event. That can go up as well, depending on how they want to package that.
Okay, and what are your largest costs in your cost model?
Like
Your largest expense?
what's my largest expense?
Yes.
Oftentimes it can be travel,
Okay,
which most of the time I'm able to negotiate as part of per diem within the fee. But if that's not possible, it becomes travel.
okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a question. When it comes to growing and scaling, what's your go-to-market strategy, and how do you anticipate growing your team just from the group that you have right now?
So right now we're focused on getting what we're doing right now right. We're focused on making sure that how we present and learning what is going to be the best model to present to our clients will work. In the future, we look to utilize apps as well as onboarding other individuals that have poignant stories that we believe can connect with the clients.
Hi, Nick.
ma'am.
What is the most important milestone that you need to happen in the next 12 months?
Within the next 12 months, I would say it's just building consistency with acquiring new clients as well as fostering those relationships to continue to expand our reach.
And how would you do that?
Right now, we typically work off of word of mouth from one individual presentation to another. We have also partnered with Acadia Healthcare Group to be within their facilities nationwide as a program within their inpatient treatment programming dealing with substance abuse and mental health.
The pricing, it looked like it was based on a 1 day or a half. Was that a 1 day or a half day segment for the pricing?
So pricing, once again, the $3,000 at keynote level typically is for an hour presentation. We can negotiate where we want to go with that. We can add on to it. 5,000 is typically an all-day or multi-day workshop, and like I said, that price can change depending on what the client's looking for, as we like to tailor it specifically to their needs.
And to go deeper down that, is there additional supplemental support that goes on for 3 months, 6 months, or a year to help stabilize the veterans and first responders that you're working with?
So currently, we do not have that. We are looking to develop some sort of long-term application that we can pair with our services that allows us to connect with them and engage with them over a longer period of time to reinforce some of the tools that we're giving them.
This may be a loaded question, Nick, but so going after that $2 billion market of the larger pie, if I was a client of yours and I came to you and purchased your services, would my insurance cover some of that, or is that just it's out of pocket for me?
Right now, we are not covered by any sort of insurance providers. That may be something to look into in the future and what steps that might take. But at this point, no. This would strictly be like a line item that would come as an expense to the client.
Right. Okay.
If I were your client, run me through one of your days very, very quickly. What is it? Because you said resilience, you listed a couple of bullet points, but does it very generic, very over, like a big picture?
Correct.
What would that look like if I signed up?
So typically we would have a conversation about what it is you're specifically looking for, how long you're looking for my service to take place. At that point in time, we would tailor our presentation or workshop directly towards what you're looking to get out of it. Even after the presentation or workshop, we make ourselves available to both the client as well as...
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Well
you,
done.
judges, and thank you, Nick. Great job, brother. Next up, let's meet our second contestant, Lindsay Cook of Sweet Ace Cakes.
Lindsay Cook is a self and mama-taught baker and the founder of Sweet Ace Cakes, specializing in scratch-made baking mixes, hot chocolate mix, and gourmet marshmallows. She is a military spouse, married to an Army veteran of 9 years. She is an alum of DAV Patriot Boot Camp's Spring 2025 cohort.
Everyone's busy. What do we do when we have to figure out how to make it all happen? I learned the answer when my 8-year-old daughter chose her birthday breakfast. Glazed happiness donuts or grandma's cake, the coffee cake my mother used to make previous to her passing away. Kind of pertinent. I'd hoped for donuts. They're fast, they're easy, instant joy, but she chose grandma's cake because even at 8, she understood that some things matter more. Memory over novelty, tradition over trend, made over bought. Hi, I'm Lindsay Cook, and I founded Sweet Ace Cakes to make it easier to choose meaning in chaotic lives, to bake the cakes and cookies that help make lasting memories. Dessert is broken. Time-starved lives are complicated. Dessert choices now are uninspiring. The moments to make them are immediately forgotten, and a lack of knowledge and ability leave people uncertain how to do things differently. Existing solutions include large brands that taste like the box they came in, have uninspiring flavors. Medium-sized brands that continue on with bland flavors and add niche dietary options, and specialty brands that are limited in availability, limited in flavors, and again, limited in dietary restrictions. At Sweet Ace Cakes, we deliver scratch-made flavor, simplified, unforgettable flavors and moments, and a return to confidence. The U.S. baking mix industry is set to top $4 billion by 2027, with $1 billion in specialty and clean label products. Sweet Ace Cakes hyper-focuses on regional high-end grocery stores and gift boutiques that cater to customers who want premium, experience-focused products without regard to price. Consumers want story-driven, giftable, small batch baking mixes. Sweet Ace delivers all three. Sweet Ace products offer family recipes, unique flavors, real pronounceable ingredients, and a return to competence. Sweet Ace doesn't ask you to be an expert, but it refuses to treat you like a passive consumer. It says, you made this counts, you matter. We make money through e-commerce, face-to-face sales at artisan markets, and wholesale. We have 18 store locations, well, we're in 18 retail locations, 731 customers, and an 89% retail reorder rate. And this is what that looks like. With your vote today, and a $10,000 win will be transformational for Sweet Ace Cakes. We discovered a while ago that we need a brand refresh. We need packaging that showcases what the product looks like when it's finished. And this idea was validated when at the Patriot Boot Camp, world-renowned chef Robert Irvine championed and acknowledged this idea when he and his team helped us figure out how to make that happen. Thank you. I bring operational savvy to the team, and I have lots of help from my family and friends. Sweet Ace brings you more than a baking mix. It brings grandma's cake back to the table. Too slow. Thank you.
All right. Now we go to our judges for questions.
So, did you bring us anything to eat?
I have some in the back if you want them.
No, I'm kidding. I'm good.
Yeah.
So, 18 locations you're in today, retail.
Yes.
Correct? What have your sales been?
Sales for wholesale specifically?
Yeah.
They're around half of our overall revenue, which is about $15,000.
Okay. That's a year?
That's for last year, yes.
Okay. And how much e-commerce sales?
E-commerce is less than that, I would say about 8.
8. Okay. Okay. Tough competition in this space.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So what sets you apart? I love your passion. This is a family thing, and it's
Yes.
near and dear to you. But what sets you apart from the rest of the competition out there to be able to get into these high-end stores and these boutique shops?
I developed these from a scratch-made perspective. So they taste like scratch-made. They don't taste like they came from a box. When you open up a Duck and Heinz, it's just one bag full of powder, and it doesn't offer anything that tastes like butter. It doesn't taste like vanilla. They taste better. They feel like you're making a scratch-made product, and I would consider them scratch-made, even though I make everything from scratch. When I'm in a time crunch, I'll grab a bag at home, and it's the exact same thing. The recipe for chocolate chip cookies for my kids after school is the same as what goes in that bag.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question. When you mention your sales and the 89% reorder rate, is that a forced subscription model where you have a consistent thing that people reorder every month or every 2 months? And then the second question to that is, what is the lifetime value of your client for the ones that reorder?
I am working on a subscription package. I don't have that yet. I'm working on how to best do that. That is for a retail reorder. I'm consistently getting retail reorders from the retail stores that I have. The lifetime value of a subscription customer, I don't know. I don't do it yet.
Okay.
Lindsay, what is the biggest risk to your success that you can control, and how are you addressing that?
The biggest risk to my success. I've never thought about this. I would say that I can control
That you can control.
the knowledge that I have in how to go to market and continuing to do that as well as I can, using the resources that I have and making sure that I bring on the people that I need to.
Okay. Is that a risk factor already to your
Um,
success, your knowledge? Or
Probably.
okay.
I think it's a risk factor all the time.
It always is, yeah.
Do you have investors today in the business?
I have me.
Just you?
Just so I have an idea of the market and the pricing, if you were able to get on a big box shelf, whether it be like a Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or something to that effect, which retail market would you go to? And follow up to that, just for the market research, I'm from here in Las Vegas. If you had, say, 2,500 square foot to sell at any of the hotels here, which one would be one that you would go after? Because the market research here has already done most of the work for that.
So in Las Vegas specifically, what?
Yeah, if you were to have 2,500 square foot in a hotel, just so I can understand the demographic, like if you had a retail space at Paris or at one of the hotels, where would be somewhere that you would focus your product? And the retail model would be like, is it a Whole Foods? Is it what level pricing are you at?
I would be, I think, most closely related to perhaps Williams-Sonoma. I'm in Publix right now and in Fresh Time, in a local high-end grocery store on local end cap.
Sorry, thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges, and thank you, Lindsay. Please give it up for our next contestant, Tess Partridge of At Home Ads.
Tess Partridge is the founder and CEO of At Home Ads, a tech-enabled marketplace turning private property into hyper-local advertising space. She is a military spouse of 15 years who is married to an active-duty Army aviation soldier. Tess is an alum of DAV Patriot Boot Camp's Winter 2025 cohort.
%9 of U.S. businesses are small businesses. And today alone, 1,500 will shut down. That's 51,000 over the next 30 days. And these are businesses in your very own community. At the same time, 260 million Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. These could be your friends, your neighbors, it could be you. Now imagine if these problems came together to improve the outcomes for everyone. Small businesses need visibility. Americans need extra income. We connect the dots. Hi, I'm Tess Partridge. I'm the co-founder and CEO of At Home Ads, a tech-enabled marketplace that connects the everyday resident with advertisers for hyper-local sign placement. The marketing world today favors the top 1% of businesses, and the remaining 99% have to be really scrappy to be seen. Bottom line, advertising is confusing, expensive, and typically requires a large team to get set up adequately. With At Home Ads, the average American can earn passive income from their property while giving businesses a better way to get seen locally. And in the process, everyone wins. Our hosts are everyday people with spaces like front yards or fences, or land along an interstate or highway. Our advertisers are all size small businesses like home services, events like farmers markets or concerts, realtors, home-based businesses, insurance providers, and even politicians. We connect these hosts' unused spaces with untapped advertising potential, creating a scalable, flexible way to get seen locally while generating revenue back into the community that's being advertised to. On our platform, hosts list their property, advertisers select locations, custom signs are created, and checking out is easy. And signs are created, shipped, and placed within 5 days. And At Home Ads takes 40% of each transaction. The outdoor advertising market is an $11 billion business. In Tennessee alone, $170 million is spent each year. To start, we're focusing on home service-based businesses. These businesses in Tennessee spend on average $100 million annually. If we can just 1% of that, that's a $1 million opportunity in a single vertical in a single state. And the cool part, there's $4 billion of untapped advertising space in the United States until now. And we're proving that we're building something people want to. In less than a year, we've gained over 2,500 users, 1,500 hosts, and have over 70 paying customers. And we've generated over $60,000 with $100,000 in the pipeline. At Home Ads is ran by a team of two, myself and my CTO, Ethan Rush. I grew a single small business into over 80 across the entire nation. My expertise lies in leadership and growth. Ethan's a full stack developer who can build anything technical and also lead a team. Today, I ask for $10,000. This would help us push into an additional city and bring us one step closer to our funding goals. It would also help us support 35 million US small businesses and generate real dollars back into real families, just like your own. Thank you.
Well done, Tess. Judges, I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, Tess. I did not catch, what were your sales? What have your sales been of late?
So we've generated over 60, we're about at 64 to date.
64.
From January.
64,000.
64,000, yeah.
Okay. And do you ever run into any zoning issues at any of these cities or communities?
Yeah, so we don't even touch HOAs. In your standard city, there are some zoning laws, but it's super variant and really not regulated.
Okay.
Even within HOAs, though, it's cool because we've had some HOAs on the platform that have designated a person who finds a spot within the HOA to put money into the HOA where signs can go in and out of. So that's been something cool to see.
Okay, and just back to your sales for a second. 64,000 over the last year, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And 40% of that is what you have kept for revenue?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
My question is on predicated on scale and where you're going next. What are the next 5 cities that you want to go into and why?
Good question. So we'd like to push into Atlanta. One of the reasons we'd like to push into there is we've had over 5 high-dollar advertisers who have reached out to us and said, hey, if you have enough places to put signs, we are good for anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000, but they want a certain number of places to put signs, and we haven't hit that yet. And Atlanta, for some reason, has been one of those top locations. We're just in Clarksville and Nashville, and we have organically, through some viral social media videos, for some reason, popped off there.
Okay.
What will keep others from popping into your space once they see your yard signs, just because it seems like a pretty simple thing to do, very smart. But what if the next company is like, oh, this is pretty simple, and they'll build something else? How do you account for that competition that might be coming up?
Yeah, it's really important as we go into the space to be the first and the fastest to continue pushing through it. But the cool part is we are the ones who are building the blueprint. There's no one else has done anything quite like this. We originally thought we could kind of replicate costs based off of what billboards cost, traffic count, and then signage that's going to be in front of that traffic count. And with the data that we're running into, it's actually a little bit different. And so that's stuff that we know, but our competitors don't.
How do you track the data of if I'm a consumer and I drive through a neighborhood and I see a sign and then I stop at a place later and I spend my money there? How does anyone know that it's because I saw that sign, or how does that benefit the people that are advertising?
Yeah. So we offer two things in our AI sign creation. Our library is built to send a trackable message. Like a customer that we worked with was a smoothie place, and if you mention the sign, you'd get 50% off your smoothie when you walked in the door. If we are in a stop-and-go traffic location, like a corner with a stop sign or street light, then we can put a QR code on there, and that's a really easy way to track it. Or we've also done a distinguished phone number. Somebody has set up a Google phone number correlated with just that sign. So we've done it a few different ways. The way that we have it integrated into the app is our AI library generates certain messaging.
Tess, can you tell us how you would spend the money if you were awarded that tonight? What would be your first step?
I would hire an additional developer to help us fine-tune some of the tech interfaces that we would like to pump out really fast. We've grown rather quickly, and consequently, as we are implementing new things into the tech, we're also fixing, and it's just my CTO.
A tech interface developer?
Yeah, a contractor, probably like an overseas guy.
You know what?
Okay, thank you.
Great job.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, judges, and thank you, Tess. All right, before we welcome our next entrepreneur, I want to take a few moments to thank the 2025 sponsor of DAV Patriots Pitch. T-Mobile is a dedicated supporter of veterans and their families. The work T-Mobile does helps fuel DAV's mission to ensure those who served find fulfilling, meaningful careers when they take off the uniform. As shown by the generous support of DAV Patriot Bootcamp, T-Mobile is also a champion of veterans and spouses becoming entrepreneurs and job creators. Here to tell us more is Cole Stout. Cole is an external affairs manager at T-Mobile, where he leads the company's partnerships with military community and rural community groups on policy issues at the federal, state, and local levels. Before joining T-Mobile in April of last year, Cole worked as a communications professional for members of Congress and in rural grassroots organizations. Cole and his husband, Adam, an active duty Marine, currently live in Washington, D.C. Please welcome Cole to the stage. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you, everyone. T-Mobile is really proud to support DAV and incredible programs like the Patriot Bootcamp and this pitch contest. You know, I've been a T-Mobile customer for almost a decade now, but started the company really recently. But what I've always admired about T-Mobile is how we acknowledge the service of those who have and are currently serving. That acknowledgement has led to industry-leading commitments to veterans, military spouses, active duty service members, and their families. You know, in 2018, we announced an ambitious goal to be a leader in hiring veterans and military spouses, and we're proud of the work we've done and what's on the horizon for our company. We know that transition from service to civilian life isn't always easy, which is why we offer dedicated training opportunities for veterans and provide resources to our hiring managers and to our recruiters to translate those service-related skills to the corporate world. And we offer flexible work locations for military spouses like me, which provides us opportunities to work remotely or transfer jobs if our spouse receives PCS orders. And as the preferred wireless company for the VA, we are connecting community-based outpatient clinics with our 5G internet product and providing the tech that enables real-time healthcare via video. Through our partnerships with groups like Blue Star Families, Hiring Our Heroes, the One Tribe Foundation, Warriors and Quiet Waters, and so many other organizations, we're really committed to our veterans. And of course, active duty service members and veterans get 40% off on their phone plans. I'm proud of the work that we do to invest in entrepreneurs like the ones we've heard from already and the ones we're going to hear from in just a second, and support their businesses and provide them with the connectivity solutions they need to grow. This program is just one of many that we get to support across the country, and I'm really grateful to the team backstage, to Matt, and to everyone who helps put this on year-round. Thank you for what you've done for Thank you for you to to protect our country, and for all the work the DAV does to serve our veterans and their families.
Thank you, Cole, and thank you, T-Mobile, for making this event possible. And now back to the show. Let's meet our next contestant, Yusuf Henriquez of Indigenous Bio.
Yusuf Enrique is an Army veteran and former combat medic. He is the founder of Indigenous Bio, a genomics company on a mission to improve health equity by increasing representation of women and racial minorities in clinical trials. Yusuf is an alum of DAV Patriot Boot Camp's Winter 2022 cohort.
This is Kaylin Kiara, my oldest daughter's twins, identical. That's me, handsome in the middle, gray hairs now. Don't worry about it. Unfortunately, 20 years ago, we took this picture. Little did we know that I carried the trait that would then be transferred to my daughters. In 2014, Kaylin and Kiara were diagnosed with a rare genetic eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa, where in progression over the next 10 to 15 years, they'll lose their vision. And so when we talked to the doctors, which were both military, both me and their mom, we found out that we both had the epigenetic trait that ended up causing Kaylin and Kiara, because they're identical twins, to be diagnosed with this rare condition. What was troubling was there was no cure, and when we started talking to the doctors about ways that, the efficacy of some of the treatment and trials, we were hit with the disappointment that not a lot of the trials were developed on drugs and therapy that was developed were on women or minorities in the community. My name is Yusuf Enriquez, and I'm the founder and CEO of Indigenous Bio. We're building the largest biorepository of African women, veteran biorepository data so that we could develop more effective drugs within underrepresented communities. And we're doing that through blockchain, where we're keeping your data private and secured. There's a huge blind spot in biomedicine. 60% of the rare disease, like my daughters have, are unsolved. 90% of the drug trials are 90% European descent. And unfortunately, veterans that are in this room, the Million Veteran Program hasn't delivered on sequencing all the samples. And of course, minorities are about 2%. Around toxic exposure, it's even more critical. Health risk that's associated with military members that have served, hereditary mutations, which occurred in my daughters, and of course, as I mentioned, a lot of the genetic repository are still 80 to 90% European white. Our solution is creating a blockchain platform securing 1 million samples on an API insights, and then we're making participants shareholders. And we're democratizing clinical genomic data globally, building the world's most valuable data of insights. We get to decode those DNA and protect it, and then we're delivering insights to evaluate the data so we could deliver precision medicine. The market is huge, from cell and gene therapy to pharmaceutical companies looking at diverse data, and we're focused on that genomic insight. How we make money, pharma licensing, data as a service, and also using a compensation to increase more participation within underrepresented population and women. And of course, the research that was done with KPMG, we saw that the opportunity is about $1 billion to $3 billion that we could go after. Traction, we've acquired and have access to over 700,000 genomes across the globe, strategic partnerships, and of building the differentiated global biobank and on proprietary blockchain. We have a team full of leading experts. Dr. Taylor and Dr. Wilson are on my second company. I built a blood test for PTSD, my first genomics company. Eric rounds out our CTO, and Angel Livas, who's in the audience, is our Chief Communication Officer. And we're all Howard alumni, by the way, with 20 years of friendship and background. Raising $1.5 million. Happy to say we've closed $250,000 at a $10 million valuation just 2 days ago. The ink is dry, and we're looking to build out the repository, recruiting more patients, and building out the SaaS platform, working with a technology company. So join us on the journey, becoming the first biofintech company powered by the Genomeverse and built for the world. Thank you.
Great job, Yusuf. Now to the judges.
Yeah, thanks, Yusuf. That was a great presentation. Tell me a little bit more about the business-to-consumer DNA wallets. Is that a current part of your revenue stream? And if so, how does that work?
Yes, interestingly, when we met with KPMG, who did the market analysis, so that's numbers that were vetted by KPMG, we saw that the direct-to-consumer, similar like 23andMe, but of course, one of the issues was the securing of that data. So we're building a blockchain platform, and so we'll be able to market this direct-to-consumer on our platform where you could sign up to contribute your DNA to research and science, but you also could get compensated for that as well.
Okay, thank you.
As far as the current, congratulations on securing your investment. What is the go-to-market strategy, I guess, for the next round of growth?
Yes, so what we did is we're able to close this 250. That gets us to a benchmark, which is building out that SaaS MVP. We did acquire a blockchain platform where we had over 7,500 people already upload their 23andMe data. And so we've been getting some of those customers over, which validated that market. And now we're interested in talking to the pharmaceutical companies. That's where the go-to-market strategy, we're looking to close about 2 LOIs by the end of the year. And that's pharma company that wants to look at this unique differentiated data set that's currently doesn't exist.
Gotcha.
This was impressive, the presentation. How would you describe to all of us that don't understand a lot of the scientific terms, how would you describe it to the everyday person what it is that you do and what your company does?
Yeah, if you want to take a look at it, since we're veterans here, the Million Veteran Program. Over 1 million veterans gave the right for their clinical data along with a blood sample. What we're building is that repository to put your clinical EHR and your genomic data into one repository. That's currently not being done by the large industry folks. You know, the Epic, Cerner, they do one part, and then you have your genomic sequencing like Personalis who's doing that contract. We don't see the value in that because that doesn't look at you as a whole individual. So we want to have your clinical data that's already in the EHR, collect the blood sample so that we can look at the epigenetic change that's happened over your exposure to certain toxins, environmental control. So it's really a monitoring system, but we want to do that uniformly in one location. And veterans are the best use case because you know where every veteran has been stationed. And so you're able to collect that longitudinal data that could then lead to more discovery because right now, as I just mentioned, most of the data that's being used is from the European white male. So no women and no underrepresented population, which is going to be a public health crisis if we don't have a better data set than what's currently being used.
So a quick follow-up on that. How do you get this underrepresentation, how do you get people to sign up to want to donate their or give you their DNA? Because clearly there's always been a mistrust in that. How do you overcome that?
Well, if you saw my team, that's the first step. This is my second time doing it. I built a repository with Mount Sinai looking at Holocaust survivors, World Trade Center survivor bloods. I was able to increase recruitment of African-American veterans in Mount Sinai by 300% by just looking the way I looked.
Yeah.
And then you build that trust. You also, in the community, we need to do community engagement with participants, but not as from the Eiffel Tower. You need to be in the community, explaining genomics. As you said, 9 out of 10 people don't even know what genomics is, but it's critical to the future of precision medicine. And so the education, training, and literacy is the first thing that we're doing, and having trained physicians on our platform will be able to communicate that. The same way you do your x-ray, you have that report, we're generating a report that goes in your electronic health record.
Good job. Thank you, judges, and thank you, Yusuf. Let's meet our next entrepreneur, Oscar Vasquez of CancerMune.
Oscar Vasquez is a former Marine Corps logistician and operations chief. He is the CEO and co-founder of CancerMune Inc., a biotechnology startup focused on creating the next generation of cancer diagnostics and therapeutics. Oscar is an alum of DAV Patriot Boot Camp's Winter 2024 cohort.
Meet Maria and Rosa. Rosa was in a trial to treat advanced breast cancer, and the trial invited her sister to be tested for breast cancer. This test discovered that her sister, Maria, also had breast cancer. Fortunately for Maria, her cancer was caught much earlier. When Rosa was first diagnosed with cancer, her disease was very advanced. This is how spread her disease was at diagnosis. Maria, on the other hand, was caught much earlier, and thus her disease was isolated. And this difference is profound, because if caught earlier, survival of breast cancer is 99%. Hi, I'm Dr. Oscar Vasquez. I'm the co-founder and CEO of CancerMune, and it was our test that diagnosed Maria earlier and helped her find a cure. Breast cancer is the most common cause of cancer death in women worldwide. Every year, 2.3 million new cases are reported, and 685,000 women die of breast cancer. Our current solution includes mammograms, but mammograms comes with a lot of problems. They cause cancer. Patients are told that they have cancer when they don't. But even worse, patients are told that they don't have cancer when they actually do. Mammograms miss Maria's cancer. Other solutions include liquid biopsies. Some liquid biopsies use DNA to detect markers of cancers, but these tests are expensive, require advanced facilities, and are slow. They take 2 weeks to get results. More importantly, they struggle to find early cancers, like Maria's. We found a better way. We invented proteins. These are synthetic protein mixtures that detect biomarkers of cancers in the blood. To do this, we use artificial intelligence to design our proteins. We then build these proteins and apply them to simple, rapid diagnostic tests without the need of any advanced facilities or equipment. And thus, our tests are safer, more accurate, and more affordable. Screening takes place in a regular visit to your doctor. After collecting a small sample, our test detects the presence or absence of markers of disease, and in 10 minutes, the results are ready. The global oncology market is $320 billion. We are focused on the $6 billion segment concentrated around liquid biopsies for cancer. Our business model is diverse and scalable. It includes direct sales, licensing agreements with larger companies, partnerships to shorten the time to commercialization, and subscriptions to support ongoing monitoring. So far in 2025, we completed a clinical trial that demonstrated our test can find biomarkers of early breast cancer. We developed technologies that form the basis of 11 potential patents, and we established partnerships with 3 cancer centers and collaborators in Canada and Mexico. In 2026, we will protect our IP, and we will continue work on our research and development. And between 2027 and 2028, we will focus on entering the US market, growing our team. Our team, which, by the way, includes 3 serial entrepreneurs with expertise in artificial intelligence, cancer immunology, and clinical trials. Like what we're building, we have opportunities for accredited investors who want to learn more. Thank you.
Great job, Oscar. Let's hear what our questions are have.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. That was fascinating. So let me ask you, I misunderstood the patent piece. Do you have patents today? And how many are in place?
We do not have patents at this moment.
Okay, the plan is to get those.
Yes, we have started the conversations with our IP lawyers for developing these patents. That's where the model of 11 potential patents come from, which is where we have found space to operate, freedom to operate, and that's our goal for next year.
Okay. Make sure I understand this. You draw blood, 10 minutes later you have a test, positive, negative, on whether it's picked up any cancer.
Biomarkers, correct.
Okay. Is that all kinds of cancer or just certain?
Our first clinical trial was focused on breast cancer
Breast
patients.
cancer, okay. Okay, thank you.
My question is on the partnerships and what you've accomplished this far. So when you look at the partnerships, I saw the ones listed on there. Are those currently people that you're already partnered with, or those are the ideal partners that you want to work with?
Great. In the slide, I was proposing some of the partners. The partners that we currently have are the UC Davis Comprehensive Cancer Center and the University of Puerto Rico Comprehensive Cancer Center, in addition to our collaborators in Mexico and Canada, which are from academia.
Gotcha. And do you already have a specific list of like the Dream 100 partners that you want to work with?
Correct, yes. And then those will be the ones in the slide.
So is this gonna, in your ideal world, gonna make mammograms obsolete because you can already tell that there's breast cancer in the blood? How do you see that? Or is your treatment or your detection in addition to all the other screenings?
I think that rolling into the market is going to take a little bit of overlap between technologies, and we think that there's space for that. Eventually, being able to prove that efficacy and safety, which we feel very confident our test does because it doesn't depend on radiation, would justify the replacements of mammograms. But mammograms still have a place a role to play in localizing the lesion. The blood test can tell that there are markers of that particular disease, but you still need an imaging technology to find out where the location is.
What would you, what is the cost of this test? Is there a cost model already established?
Yes, we have decided that we want to outcompete mammograms, and thus our target is to be able to sell it at a lower cost than mammograms. An average mammograms in the United States costs anywhere from $250 to $375. So keeping it at $200, which is our target goal, is where we are working on.
Okay, that'd be the sale price.
Correct.
And what would the cost be to develop it?
$10.
Okay.
Well, as a woman who just had her mammogram for this year, I will gladly take a strip instead.
I'm honored to hear that.
When it comes to, for the growth, right? When we're continuing to grow this, you mentioned you're looking for accredited investors. For a competition like this, what would the money be used for if you were to secure that today? Is that really just to help get momentum to secure more investments?
It goes back to your first question. It will pay for our IP protection strategy. That's where we're investing now a lot of our current funding on making sure that we have the correct counsel for this process, and developing the strategy has actually taken a lot of money.
Gotcha.
I love the concept.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, brother.
That's awesome.
I can't wait.
Thank you, judges, and thank you, Oscar. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our last pitch of the night. Please welcome Julie Sargent of Cardinal Medical Solutions.
Julie Sargent is a former Army combat medic and critical care flight paramedic. She is the co-founder and CEO of Cardinal Medical Solutions, a company that provides on-site and mobile medical care for first responders and support personnel during disaster incidents. Julie is an alum of DAV Patriot Boot Camp's Winter 2022 cohort.
Every year, thousands of wildland fires tear through our country with growing intensity. In 2024, there were 65,000 wildfires, 12,500 patients, and $50 billion in damages. But here's something most people don't think about: the people on the front lines. Thousands of wildland firefighters leave their families for months on end to work 16-hour shifts in the brutal heat, breathing smoke-filled air and pushing their bodies to the limit to protect communities that most of them will never even see. Sound familiar? I'm Julie Sargent, co-founder and CEO of Cardinal Medical Solutions. Wildland firefighters face extreme life-threatening conditions, working in remote areas with limited care and under-equipped medical support. Delayed treatment can be deadly and results in resource strain and decreased firefighting capacity. At base camps, you'll find EMTs with basic medications, but that's it. Ill and injured firefighters are transported off the line and sent to hospitals because they don't have the capability to be treated on site. Although our competitors provide EMTs and medics on the front lines, they primarily focus on transport and do not provide advanced medical care at the base camp of fires. At Cardinal Medical Solutions, we provide mobile medical clinics, point of injury care, and preventative care, resulting in enhanced health outcomes. Every firefighter that we keep healthy and working saves homes, businesses, and lives. And every transport we prevent saves time, money, and resources. The nation continues to face a growing wildfire crisis. Federal response costs are $3 billion every single year. And there's a severe shortage of mobile medical units and $500 million spent on mobile medical support annually. We project, with our focus on Oregon, Washington, and California-based fires, we project $30 million in revenue in the next 5 years. Cardinal Medical Solutions is raising the standard of mobile medical care by bringing hospital-level care to the base camp of fires. Our mobile clinics are set up with 2 patient treatment areas, diagnostic capabilities, cardiac monitoring, and procedure capabilities. This is leaps and bounds beyond the current first aid station models. We operate with a 5-year federal contract with the U.S. Forest Service and partner agencies. We're paid via usage-based billing, making revenue scalable and predictable. This isn't just a concept. Our proven track record proves we deliver. So far to date, we've supported 15 states, responded to 51 fires, and deployed 257 days in the field. These are our numbers year over year for the 3 services that we bill for. Our expert team was built for this mission. Josh is a seasoned paramedic and the engineer behind our custom-built medical trailers. Jill is an EMT and a 4th-year medical student and our tech expert. Robin is our administrative master and logistics coordinator. As for me, I'm a critical care flight paramedic with 15 years of experience leading medical teams in civilian and military settings worldwide. Now, we're raising $2 million in capital to expand our fleet, nationwide hubs, and scale our team. This will 3x our revenue and 4x our valuation. But we can't do it alone. Your vote, your belief in what we're doing, is more than just business. It is a commitment to protecting those who protect us. Let's save more lives together. Thank you.
Way to wrap up the night, Julie. Judges, what questions do you have?
All right. Thanks, Julie, for that. Did I just see 11 million valuation up there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I thought I caught that. How did you calculate that amount?
So right now, our company is valued at about $3 million, and the goal is to 4x our valuation in the next 5 years by scaling our fleet. And so we were able to calculate it based on if we were to add 4 medical trailers to our current fleet, the revenue that we would produce from adding those 4 additional trailers would increase the valuation of the company.
Okay. And how many mobile units do you have today?
Right now we have 2.
Have 2, and what? Those are no joke. Looking at the pictures, so what's it cost to put one of those together and have it completely outfitted and ready to hit the field?
It's about $300,000.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I love it. You said one of my favorite words, which is scale. That's what I believe that we have to offer as veterans to most organizations. My curiosity comes from, have you done the research of where the next opportunity locations you have that you want to scale your operations? Being that, where are you based currently, and is it duplicating your operations in another community or city, national park? What does that strategy look like?
Absolutely. So right now we're based out of Roseburg, Oregon as our primary hub. And we support fires in Oregon, Washington, California, as well as Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, essentially the entire western U.S. as needed. But our main focus has been Oregon, Washington, and California. We've responded to most fires in those regions. And so our goal next is to set up hubs in each of the states. So ideally, we'll set up a hub in Central California to be able to respond to both Northern and Southern California fires, and then also in Washington. And the goal with that will also decrease our response time by 50%, which will save money, time and also increase our likelihood of securing those contracts.
Hi, Julie. What's been your biggest unexpected challenge so far, and how or what have you learned from it?
I think just being a smaller company and being a newer company in the field, we're up against some competition in the sense that we've only been in business for 3 years compared to other companies who've been doing it for 10 or 15 years. And so I think the biggest challenge at first was getting our name out there and starting to build our reputation. And so we've been able to establish that by making network connections with different vendors and incident management teams that we work directly with on the fires. And as a result, we've now become a preferred vendor for several incident management teams to where they trust us with the most high-risk operations. And that's been a really exciting adventure for us.
We saw some of your leadership team a moment ago on the slide. How many employees do you have in total, and how many does it take to man one of the units, one of the mobile units?
So right now we have 20 employees. And we are a seasonal company, so we have 5 full-time employees, and then the rest of our employees are temporary part-time employees during the fire season, which is about 6 months of the year. And I'm sorry, what was the second part of your question?
How many employees does it take to man one of your mobile units?
So at a minimum, it's 2 personnel are required to man the unit, but we typically will send 3 because the contracts, they say we want at least a nurse and a paramedic or a nurse and EMT. The staffing configurations may change depending on the request of the incident. However, we like to send a 3rd provider just because we are on a mission to improve the quality of care and make sure that at all times we have the appropriate staffing and the ability to meet all the demands of the capacity. Some fires will show up and there'll be 3,000 people assigned to that fire, and we'll be seeing several hundred patients a day. Right. And so the contracting officers don't always fully understand the capacity that we handle on a daily basis. And so we try to account for that by sending a 3rd provider.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. All right, that's a wrap on pitches. Getting on the big stage and pulling this off is no easy task. So please give it up one more time for our 6 contestants. Woo! All right, now you've heard their pitches. Now it's time to hear from you. Please open up and log into your DAV Events mobile app. If you still need to download the DAV Events app, please scan the QR code on the screen. Your login information should have been emailed to you earlier this week. From the main screen of the app, scroll to the polls icon. Click on that icon, and you'll be asked to vote for which entrepreneur you think gave the best pitch and earned $10,000 in non-dilutive capital. You'll have about 10 minutes to vote, starting now. All right, so while you're voting, we'd like to welcome longtime DAV Patriot Bootcamp mentor and pitch master, Ray Antonino. Ray has been working with our contestants leading up to tonight to get them in pitch-perfect shape. As the chief expectation setter and co-founder of Permits.com, Ray has been recognized by the White House Office of Intergovernmental Affairs as a South Carolina business leader and as a national award-winning project manager for the 2nd largest home building company in the US. He's a 3-time entrepreneur, a marathoner with the fastest time of 3 hours, 46 minutes, and 8 seconds. I love that you put that in there. And Army veteran, raised by a retired gunny. He's also an alumni of DAV Patriot Bootcamp, a Techstars graduate, and a self-proclaimed master of mistakes. Please put your hands together for Ray Antonino.
If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I can take you for a ride. I had a premonition that we fell into a rhythm with
Not so many marathons nowadays, that's for sure. Good to see you.
Great seeing you. All right, I'm gonna start with you, Ray.
Yeah.
So as our resident expert on pitches, how'd you think the contestants did?
Couldn't be more proud. How about everyone out here? Did you enjoy them? Fantastic lineup. Did a great job out there. I look at it.
I know.
2.5 weeks, folks. 2.5 weeks to prepare entire presentation decks and to get it so succinct, that message down to 4 minutes, that each of you could take it in and understand what they do. I'm beyond the moon.
About how many sessions did you do with each of the contestants?
The good majority were above 12 sessions, between an hour and some as much as 2 hours. We were doing them at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., whatever it took to get them to the finish line.
Dedication. That's dedication. Tell us about some of the coaching you provided and the progress that you've seen working with them, getting them, ready to go the last couple of weeks.
Oh, that's easy. Think about a scientist and how detailed they are, and then try to get that distilled in a way that we can all understand it. That's an example. PhDs, we have people that are doing real things out here with fires and what's happening right now, and we have people making the baked cookies and bringing that, like, what does that matter to us, and how the memories of grandma's cookie matter. Those are the things that are special, and I love seeing what they've been able to do with it.
No, they did an awesome job. I appreciate that. Dean, I'm going to head over to you for a bit. So Cole spoke about T-Mobile's commitment to honoring the veteran community. So as a founder and a business leader, what potential do you see from the participants?
Did a nice job today, this evening, and they're biting off some pretty big challenges with early cancer detection and a MASH unit for firefighters. I mean, those are some important goals. But what I love about all of them is if whether you're a service person or a spouse of a veteran, they don't scare easy. I have a combat veteran somewhere out here that's on my team, Max Ramsey. There's Max right there, I think. And anything that you run up against in the business world, it doesn't feel like a pressure cooker if you've been out there serving in a real pressure cooker. So he doesn't scare easy, and I'm sure none of these people will scare easy. And I hope they all, whether they get the money or not, I hope they all will pursue their dreams of making these businesses come true.
I agree. They came out here and were tenacious. They were fearless. It was. I'm proud to see them do that.
Totally.
All right, Maria, I'm going to head over to you now. So, as someone who has actually gone through the program, what did you think of tonight's contestants?
Oh, that was amazing. I was scared when I had to do the pitch during my Patriot Boot Camp. Was the most scary thing of all to get up here and speak fast and bring out this thing that you have in your head, this passion project, because all of these people, they care about their product, they're passionate about what they're doing. To distill that into a 4-minute block and to make sure that you understand, it's so difficult, so I'm so super proud for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, you're someone who was introduced to DAV through this program itself and have since become more involved. Can you tell us a little bit more about, your journey as a DAV advocate, especially for women's veterans?
Yes, so I'll gladly do that.
Please.
So when I went through the Patriot Boot Camp, I didn't, unfortunately, see myself as a veteran. I didn't describe myself as a veteran because it always felt kind of like the bottom part. It's just something I am, but I don't have to talk about it. And that really, now I feel completely different. I feel that we as a whole, we have a shared experience, and for us to come together has been so wonderful. And for me, I'm a menopause coach and a fitness expert, and I've been very passionate about getting more menopause care into the VA healthcare system and helping women.
Yeah, let's give it up. Yeah.
Get access to that, and thankfully DAV is such a huge partner, so I've been talking to Elizabeth as much as I can to get the word out. I talk to my VA care providers as well. So that's my passion currently, to really just give back and make sure that women veterans are taken care of in this midlife and beyond.
Can you speak to a little bit about the Women's Veterans Report that you were a part of?
Yes, so that was all about the mental health Veterans Report, and I talked about how menopause is kind of, that stage in life is the perfect storm, especially for women veterans. We may have PTSD from our service. We may have been dismissed by our military and VA healthcare system. And then you have still the symptoms of menopause and life. And so it becomes this perfect storm for mental health issues, for even suicidal thoughts. And so that's why I just have been so passionate and so happy to see the conversation coming to light and for us to talk more about women veterans, because sadly, we haven't had enough conversations about that. It's kind of falls second always. And so I'm so happy to just be a voice, and hopefully all of you here are voices too for all the other women veterans.
I love it. I can see the passion and the sparkle in your eye. I love it.
It's hard for me to not continue talking.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. You're getting that timer to chop down. I love it. All right, so Dave, going over to you. So you're a founder yourself and a veteran. So why do you think veterans are uniquely poised to be successful entrepreneurs?
Yeah, there's two key things that we all have the opportunity to use and leverage as we're growing businesses or growing businesses for other people, whether it be entrepreneurship, intrapreneurship. Number one is the mindset. It's been spoken to many times. There's not much that can scare us or run us down. The resilience level is very much there. So mindset is huge, right?
Yeah.
The second one is the way that we look at the world from an organizational standpoint. If you look at any of the branches of service, and if you related those into business, they are some of the most effective business systems in the world. And we bring that through the services that we provide, right? In business, that's very critical, not just from an operational level. We look at the world through a different lens. We see the world at scale.
Yeah.
And whether we're doing a small bakery or whether we're doing a large technical operation, we all have the capacity to look at the world through that lens. And the best part, the third very powerful part, is our network is so strong.
Yeah.
Most of the organizations that I've helped create or scale at different levels, I've used it by leveraging veteran and military contacts in other communities and leveraging the resources and the systems that they've created to do that. So I really think that we're right on the edge of, I look at the last 15 years of what we've accomplished and some of the challenges that we've had as a military culture as a season of transition. I truly believe that this is the season of transformation and expansion, and it's the veteran entrepreneurs that are going to lead that.
I love that. Well said. So Dave, I'm going to stick with you. So obviously there's going to be one winner. What are some, and you work very closely with entrepreneurs, what are some of the benefits that anyone that came up on the stage is going to get something out of this as an entrepreneur? Can you speak to a little about those for, people that aren't going to walk home with the check?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, another round of applause for the brave souls that did come up here and do that. For some people, that's more challenging than some of the things that we've done in our military career, right? So for that, I think you're always going to have that notch on your belt to say, I did this, where there's so many that have not and so many that will not ever attempt to put their idea out there and do that. So number one, you get the participation ribbon, but it's actually, it goes a lot further than that because you do have the network. You do have the vision to show that you've done this before. It gives you the opportunity to connect with other people in this room, connect with other people in this community to get that next opportunity. And for some people that may not get that $10,000 check here, there's probably somebody out in the crowd or somebody that's going to watch one of these videos that says, I need to talk to that person. And I need to write them a check.
I love that. Dave, all of our panelists, thank you so much. Ray, wherever you went, thank you as well. So Ray has played a crucial role in preparing these founders today. So much of what you saw tonight has his fingerprints all over. So I just want to give it one more time, a round of applause for Ray. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to reveal the winner of DAV's Patriot Pitch. So as a reminder, tonight's winner will receive $10,000 in no obligation funding. And now, if all of our contestants can please join us on stage.
I do the same thing I told you that I never would. I told you I changed, even when I knew I never could. Know that I can't find nobody else as good as you. I need you to stay, need you to stay. I do the same thing I told you that I never would. I told you I changed, even when I knew I never could. Know that I can't find nobody else as good as you.
Yeah, give it up. Awesome. Wow. Wow, they killed it. All right, I'd also like to welcome T-Mobile's Cole Stout back on the stage to present the check to our winner.
I got my head out the sunroof. I'm blasting our favorite tunes.
You're like the Oscars.
I only got one thing.
All right. And the Oscar goes to All right, you guys ready? Are you guys ready? You guys all are winners to me. Just want to say that. Without further ado, the winner is Yusuf.
Get your soul, just tell him ain't laying low. You was never really rooting for me anyway. When I'm back up at the top, I wanna hear you say, you don't run from nothing, dog. Get your soul, just tell him that the break is over. Need a couple number ones. Need a pack on every song. Need me like one with Nicki now. Tell her I don't see it, huh? I'm a partner like Bieber, huh? I don't some queer, huh? But these niggas let me deal, yeah. Hey, oh, let do it.
Well done. Yeah. Truly well done.
All right, congratulations, Yusuf, and thank you to all of our participants and panelists. Thanks again to T-Mobile for their generous support, and thank you to everyone, our studio audience who attended and voted. If you are a veteran or a spouse who founded a for-profit business, or if you are interested in mentoring founders, you can apply now for our next 3-day boot camp to be held October 15th through 17th at DAV National Headquarters, which is near Cincinnati, Ohio, at patriotbootcamp.org. That's where you can go to sign up. Thank you all, and have a great night. Let's build.